It's already been an expensive January for some clubs, with Liverpool at the heart of two of the biggest deals in the history of football, not just in January. But today, using a lovely 4-3-3 formation, we're going to look at the most expensive January 11 in history, which will no doubt end up changing once the window slams shut. In goal we've got Zhang Lu, who cost Tianyin Quanyan £8.8 million in January 2016. Okay, so we're off to a bad start, and to make matters worse, we haven't even got any proper pictures of the Chinese goalkeeper. I mean, this might be Zhang Lu here, but who knows? Either way, the goalkeeping market clearly isn't that lucrative in the January window, but why couldn't Man City just have paid a little bit more for Shea Given back in 2009? At right back it's Branislav Ivanovic, who cost Chelsea £9.75 million in January 2008. The oldest transfer in this team, Branislav Ivanovic became a Chelsea player a decade ago, spending his days at the bridge playing either right back or centre back, but always finding a way into your fantasy team due to his goal scoring antics. His time at the bridge came to an end last February when he joined Zenit St Petersburg, but the Serbian defender has to go down as one of the best January deals ever. Centre back is Virgil van Dijk, who cost Liverpool £75 million this month. The most expensive defender in world football, the move seemingly came out of nowhere, with the Reds failing in their bid to sign another Saints player in the summer. But by the time we could begin to comprehend the £75 million fee being touted, Van Dijk was already a Liverpool player. His debut was perfect, backing the winner in the Merseyside derby, doing his best to justify his price tag as soon as possible. He's alongside David Luiz, who cost Chelsea £21 million in January 2011. It was a deadline day signing that didn't take any headlines due to other deals that took place that day, but David Luiz's arrival in the Premier League was a significant moment in the Brazilian's career. During his first spell at Chelsea he was erratic and wacky and not really a great defender. Then he went to PSG, matured somewhat, and returned to the bridge in 2016 to help Antonio Conte win the Premier League. Now Luiz has fell out with his manager and could be leaving Chelsea once again, and the cycle continues. At left back we've got Jeffrey Schlupp, who cost Crystal Palace £12 million in January 2017. I promise this is the last Duff player, no not Damien, in this team, but just like the goalkeeping market, there obviously isn't too much demand for mega left backs in January, but that still doesn't explain why Palace paid Leicester £12 million for Jeffrey Schlupp, a man who can literally just run fast. Of course, this is a transfer fee that certainly could be eclipsed this month, especially if Chelsea get their way, with the Blues interested in Porto left back Alex Telles. In midfield we've got Oscar, who cost Shanghai SIPG £60 million in January 2017. It was the move that everyone said killed his career, as Oscar was handed the chance to become the face of a division, but seemingly the Brazilian misheard that, instead kicking the ball at faces in the division, causing a mass brawl against Guangzhou Evergrande in June, which resulted in an 8-game ban and a fine for the former Chelsea midfielder. £60 million well spent. Next up we've got Philippe Coutinho, who cost Barcelona £142 million this month. The second most expensive transfer in history, as we continue to see the knock-on effects of Neymar leaving the new camp. Some idiots thought Coutinho wouldn't leave Anfield this month, but they've been proven wrong, as Coutinho completed his dream move to Barcelona. Will Liverpool miss Little Phil? Absolutely, but it won't hurt them the same way Suarez's departure did. But whatever the Reds do with the Coutinho money, just please don't spend it on someone like Ricky Lambert again. Our third midfielder is Juan Mata, who cost Manchester United £37.1 million in January 2014. Alex Teixeira's move to Jiangsu Suning may have cost more, but that wasn't completed until February 5th, and since we're a sucker for the rules, that means he can't be in this January team, and Juan Mata takes his place, ending the dream of an all-Brazilian midfield. Juan Mata has pretty much done it all during his career, with only a Major League title missing from his honours, and he's managed to do it all whilst being one of the nicest blokes in football, donating some of his wages to charity as part of the common goal that he helped launch in August 2017. Our front three begins with Lucas Moura, who cost Paris Saint-Germain £38 million in 2013. The man who has been permanently linked with the move to the Premier League since birth, Lucas Moura finally made his big move to Europe in 2013 from Sao Paulo, but it was the oil-rich PSG who acquired his services, much to the annoyance of fans of the Premier League. Will we ever see Lucas Moura in the top flight of English football? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Next up we've got Fernando Torres, who cost Chelsea £50 million in January 2011. The third Chelsea signing in this team, Fernando Torres' move to Stamford Bridge plus the subsequent transfer of Andy Carroll saw David Luiz's move almost brushed under the carpet, but during the early days it was the Brazilian who was the deadlier in front of goal. Chelsea and Torres just weren't a great match for each other, made much worse by the mega fake Carlo Ancelotti side page for the Spaniard. Sure, he got that goal against Barcelona that made a mess in Gary Neville's pants, but other than that, what a waste of money. And finally we've got Diego Costa, who cost Atletico Madrid £57 million this month. The deal was agreed in September but only officially went through on the 1st of January, as Diego Costa got his wish of a return to Atletico Madrid after being told he was no longer wanted at Chelsea by manager Antonio Conte. Of course, Diego Costa returned to Atletico Madrid in true Diego Costa fashion, getting booked for an elbow, scoring, and then getting himself a second booking for over-celebrating and having himself an early bath on his debut. He's a scary man, but the Premier League is probably a worse place without him. So that's the most expensive January 11 ever. Let us know which of these players could be replaced by the end of the January transfer window this year. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.